Manero akanaka vana veZimbabwe. I know a lot of people are just asking, where's 𝗗𝗲𝗁𝗵𝗀? Where's 𝗗𝗲𝗁𝗵𝗫? Ndati ndiuye tikurukure naye. Semunhu achangopinda pamba, ndaona zvakakodzera kuti ndiuye tikurukure nevana veZimbabwe. Ndoziva kuti vazhinji vari kutsvaga kuti 𝗗𝗲𝗁𝗵𝗫 vari kupi and so forth. Mukaona ndati ndakakuudzai nyaya yacho. Une ndoro zviri sei nyamasvisva? Salute you. True Silas zviri sei? Edigam atete Munganyatsanza 𝗗𝗲𝗁𝗵𝗁𝗲 beti maenda zviri kufamba hanzi havapere vauraya nyika. Regai vapere vauraya nyika. Zimbabwe is a police state. That is the problem that we have. We've got a police state in our country. Atete geti makadi. Hanzi hope you are fine. I'm well. Atete, I'm very well. Thank you. Atete Len zviri sei? Ndakasimba. Mwana wama 𝗗𝗲𝗁𝗵𝗁𝗲, it's good to see you back. I'm okay. I'm well. English, please, so we all understand. Thank you, my brother Becky. I'm just greeting you people. And thank you, my brother. So, ladies and gentlemen, we know previously we had some presentations that we're going through. Out of those presentations, we did quite a lot of things. I don't just come and bring things here. We need to do a lot of research, up-to-date news, up-to-date information, and see where we are. I understand there are quite a number of issues occurred whilst I wasn't there. How are you, 𝗗𝗲𝗁𝗵𝗁? I'm well, 𝗗𝗗𝗁 blessing. Quite a number of stories happened whilst I was not there. So I've just come today to make sure that you are all well. My brother, you just disappeared. No, brother Tony, I did not disappear. But last time, let me make it clear to yes, I'm back. I'm back. I'm from. I came yesterday. 3 a.m. I was home yesterday. So today, I got up and did some other things other than coming live on Facebook. So let me reiterate to people that I'm not a beggar. Some people thought Shepherd is begging for money, and I cannot let you guys pay for my internet. I've got to work for myself, to pay for my internet, pay for my electricity, pay for things that I want, so that I can keep on giving you information. I'm an able-bodied man. When needs comes, I have to do something. How are you, Mwanza? How are you? Ndafara Batayo and Nasim Goma. Thank you so much. So it's not like I have to come to people and say, guys, I entertain you, I give you news. You guys must pay this, must pay that. No. That's not it. This is my dedication to make sure that the Zimbabweans are informed. And anything that the Zimbabweans know, I have to do research, I have to inform you. But there are times that, I've got family, I'm a family man, the kids needs ice cream. I've got a 4-year-old boy here. when this ice cream van pass, he will jump on me and say, look, Dad, there is ice cream outside. Then you can't tell your son every day that I don't have money for ice cream. That won't work. Iwe yuda usada kuti jairira mani wewe anziko na mkoma madzokere madzokere hezmen ameno anzi na mkoma hezi usada kuti jairira mkoma hezi zvinhu zvinowanika mwana wamai. These things happen. I cannot be there to appease every Zimbabwean. This is why you see there is a word called enemy. There is a word called enemy. And people should understand that they are enemies. Some people, they just create enmity with other people without even being provoked. Someone might see my face and start hating me to say, look, I hate 𝗗𝗵𝗁𝗁𝗲. Why? He's got a big nose. He's got whatever. Someone might just hate. You are one of the people that we look up for, very strong man. Thank you, Mkoma John, but it's really right to pound, but I know Unendoro. When you have it, yes. A lot of people don't have. So if you talk about money, people will say, oh, we don't have. So the best thing is, when I can work, I told guys last time that I've got piece jobs that I do. I drive. So I drive trucks. When I see I don't have money for internet, for insurance, for this and that, I quickly jump on a truck, do some rounds, get 100, 200 pounds a day, come back, pay my internet, pay this, pay that, then come live on Facebook. That's why Uri. Thank you, Mkoma Riji. So this is what I do. This is what I do. But the problem is I cannot appease every Zimbabwean. This is the truth of it. I cannot be a nice person to every Zimbabwean. What I say here, I create enemies. And you know, a lot of people hate 𝗗𝗵𝗁𝗁𝗲 because I say the truth. So this is the truth that most ZANU-PF people hate. They come here and shout. They do everything that they think they can do to disrupt me. It's very unfortunate. I asked one guy before I blocked him. That guy is gumi, what. I asked him one question before I blocked him. He had this mentality of saying, can you come back to Zimbabwe and say whatever you are saying? So I told him, point blank, nothing to hide. Ask the people that I worked with in Zimbabwe prison services, or the people that I grew up with in Karoli. These people will tell you the true story of who is 𝗗𝗵𝗁𝗁𝗲. Unfortunately, most ZANU-PF people, when they see me talking live on Facebook, they probably think I started talking because of live on Facebook. No. I started long time ago pointing to ZANU-PF what they do wrong and telling them to rectify every wrongdoing that they did. But ZANU-PF don't listen. DB, how are you? Nangandasua kukuona live comrade. Thank you, Mkoma teacher. So I started saying what I tell people here long time ago, and probably some people here were not yet born when I started talking, telling ZANU-PF that they are doing wrong. I started being active in 1985. This is when most of people here were not born. When I started, how are you? Mkoma Rogers Murise, 1985. This is when I started getting into politics to say, look, what I'm seeing is not correct, it's not right. There is something wrong that needs to be corrected. Violence in 1985 elections, there was too much violence in Zimbabwe. I'm back, Caesar, thank you. was not born Asian. Yes, Dean, this is what I'm saying. That a lot of people must know that when I started talking about politics in 1985, some of you guys here were not yet born. So I started talking about the wrong things that I used to see. I was very young by then, but I used to see wrong things being done by ZANU-PF. Probably people think this youth militia thing is a new thing in Zimbabwe. No. We had youth brigades before youth militia. And these youth brigades, they were trained, drilled. Whatever you see in youth in Bodagezi today, it's nothing new. This has been an ongoing program since independence. So we had youth brigades who were wearing, those guys used to wear this green. They used to wear this green and khaki trousers. They had pockets on their shirts with a Zimbabwe flag. And they used to wear, I'm not sure if they were berets. Let me check on internet if I find a picture. Youth brigades, ZANU-PF youth brigades. These were thank you, Nete. Thank you so much. Murise Mkoma Magorogodo Tinemi Mkoma Road. Thank you so much. I am there, guys. Don't worry. I am there for you anytime. I am the Zimbabwe Youth Brigades. Let me see. Not this border gates. This is a new development. But we used to have youth brigades in Zimbabwe who used to wear green tops, green shirts, and they used to wear khaki trousers. And these guys were brutal, as good as the youth brigade or the youth militias that you see today in Zimbabwe. So, Chama, how are you? Thanks, Mkomarodi. So these youth brigades, I'm a new follower. How are you, Mkomashibad? Wemba Rose, how are you? I'm well. I'm very, very well. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us. This platform is your platform where we discuss current affairs, history, and the future of Zimbabwe. I've taken it upon myself to educate a lot of people because I am like a middle-aged man who saw Rhodesia, who saw 𝗗𝗲𝗺𝗁 as president, who saw Mugabe's presidents, and I have seen E.D. Mnangagwa's presidents. I have also seen Hi Doc, how is sweetheart? Long time, yes. Mashonganyika, how are you, my brother? So I have seen almost all nationalists, starting from Joshua Nkomo. I've seen Zimbabwe Rhodesia. I've seen Rhodesia itself. So I'm a middle-aged man who has seen Rhodesia. I've seen Zimbabwe Rhodesia. I've seen Zimbabwe. Today's Zimbabwe. I've seen the leadership of Ian Smith. I've seen the leadership of Bishop Tendekai Mzorewa. I've seen the leadership of Kenan Banana. I've seen the presidents, the prime minister and the presidents of Robert Mugabe. I've seen the presidents of Emerson Mnangagwa. I am an eyewitness to destruction of Zimbabwe by ZANU-PF. I have seen the good part of Zimbabwe. I've seen the good part of Rhodesia. I've seen the bad part of Rhodesia. I've seen the good part of opposition in our country. I've seen different opposition leaders. I've seen Edgar Tekere transforming himself from a ruling party cadre to an opposition politician. I've seen Dumbushena. I've seen Morgan Tsvangirai. I've seen, today I'm seeing Nelson Chamisa. So this experience that I have with all these politicians, with all what I've seen, it's very important to a new Zimbabwe. It's very important to you guys who were born after 1980. When we tell you to stop supporting ZANU-PF, we are telling you from experience from things that we witnessed and we saw. Now it's Mamvembe. Yes, Bongi. Now Zimbabwe is tattered and torn. And for those who think Zimbabwe economy will recover, you are joking, guys. You are really joking. Some of these youth are being trained at Sanyat next to Binga. By that time, that's this side of Urunga. Yes, that's true. So I've seen those youth brigades. I've seen these youth militias. I was even at one time listed to go train these youth militias, but I said no. So to them, when you say no, they see you as an enemy. Zimbabwe Youth Brigades in 1985. This is when I condemned these guys. I've seen 1985 violence. I've seen 1990 election violence, where the likes of Varachunda, Vekuroma, Vairoa, you understand, they were being attacked for being opposition leaders. I've seen even Edgar Tekere being labeled enemy of the state. I've seen Joshua Nkomo being labeled enemy of the state. 𝗗𝗲𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁 joined MDC, I think, but did not last for long. That 𝗗𝗶𝗁𝗁𝗲. I think he's still around, but most people now are domiciled in ZANU-PF. Because in ZANU-PF, they are given leeway, they are given time to steal. They are given, if you steal in ZANU-PF, you are not arrested. If you kill in ZANU-PF, you are not arrested. Recently we saw Elias Muzuri killed someone, a 23-year-old boy. But Muzuri was never arrested. Instead, he went to do rituals on the deceased's grave to appease avenging spirits. So we have seen everything in Zimbabwe. I am experienced to talk more about Zimbabwe with other people who were there during that time. Apana asina kuona when Joshua Nkomo was being labeled. ZANU-PF used to have a song that they were singing. Ngomo ngaurawe, baba ngomo ngaurawe, baba ujanirindo. This song, it still echoes in my mind. Around 1985, people were singing that Joshua Nkomo must be killed. Then there was another song which was done for Bishop Abel 𝗗𝗲𝗁𝗁𝗲𝗂. They were used to say Mzorewa wamamira mucho. I forgot. Amaiva mzorewa wamamira mucho. This song is still echoes in my mind because during that time, in 1985, Bishop Abel 𝗗𝗗𝗁𝗁𝗲𝗂 used to have helicopters which he will go around the country campaigning using a helicopter. I saw a helicopter of Bishop Abel 𝗗𝗗𝗁𝗁𝗲𝗂. Abel 𝗗𝗗𝗁𝗁𝗲𝗂. He used to campaign with helicopters. I saw that. Bishop Abel 𝗗𝗗𝗁𝗁𝗲𝗂 used to have cars that were going around locations, towns, small towns or big towns. They had 50 kg of millimil. So what he was doing, he did not make people ungana to get millimil. No. Bishop Abel 𝗗𝗗𝗁𝗁𝗲𝗂's people were driving around the streets. They were dropping 50 kgs of millimil. They were dropping 10 kgs, 5 kgs. So it was up to you, your storage and how much you need for your children. So people in locations, we just went outside onto the streets and picked 50 kgs of millimil, 10 kg of millimil, and you picked any. If you want 50 kg, if you can carry as many as you can. Bishop Abel 𝗗𝗗𝗁𝗁𝗂 used to drop millimil on the streets so people can pick. I saw that. So did ZANU-PF dropping flyers from helicopters? Yes, mai Mzorewa uyai, nemanepu Mzorewa amamira muchopa. Exactly, Chama. Chama, you still remember that song. It was done around 1985 when Bishop Abe Utendeka Mzorewa was campaigning to be voted as president of Zimbabwe. Ngoma munofungisa 2008 mbavha idzo dzezanu and he held Uriadzo rally in Zimbabwe ground, dropping money and if goods. I was informed too. Yes, yes. Yes, long time, Brandon. So I saw quite a lot of campaigns. I still remember in 1985 when ZANU-PF youth. This is when that election in 1985 was an election marred with the violence. This is when the youth brigades in ZANU-PF were going door to door. They used to close bars. They used to close factories. They used to close roads to force. They used to stop buses at the terminus, at the bus terminus. All buses were stopped there, and every person in any bus was force marched to ZANU-PF rallies. Shops closed, buses stopped. They were stopped at the bus station to make sure that no bus can take off from a bus station, and no matter that you lived in Karoi or not, people were frog marched to these rallies in 1985. I saw it, and if you don't, then ZANU-PF will come and they will beat you up. What I saw my dad being beaten by ZANU-PF youth. I always talk about that. But group Iroro, I only recognize Teki, who was part of that group. And Teki aive mwana womukadzi anga akarorwa nemndaraunda iti baba mukuru ainzi Dharabhani. And Teki was among those people who came and beat up my dad. My dad was from Malawi, so he had little knowledge about Zimbabwe politics. He never wanted to attend any political rally. So when they were going around with Mashambo, what do you call, Masanzu around the roads, telling frog marching people to to rallies. So I saw that happening in 1985. 1990, I saw the Chiwunda issue where Chiwunda Roman Catholic people were attacked by ZANU-PF, and some of them were killed by ZANU-PF. I saw that these guys, some of them were later recruited into town council. Yes, most of these youth brigades during that time were later, yes, they were recruited into town council. They were like the police. They did police duties in town councils from youth brigades, and most of them they got some jobs. I still remember one of my friends, Richmond Lunga. Those who come from Karoi who know Richmond Lunga. He was part of those ZANU-PF youth brigades. Form 2 in 1989, when we were in Form 2 in 1989. Friend yangu yakabasiya basa anambozonyora kana Form 2 yacho. He got a job ku council as a clerk. So he went to work in town council as a clerk. He left school. A lot of these guys, they got jobs there, these youth brigades, and you know, they were brutal. Those guys were really brutal. They did not mince their words. When they say they attack, they will come and attack you. So I saw it in 1990. I saw it again in 1995. Do these people, it's Morgan started talking about land reform when the MDC was formed. Yes, this is true, Chama. The idea of land reform in Zimbabwe, it was brought, and I know Richmond, yes, Richmond Lunga. We went to school together, Chama, with Richmond. You really know. And unfortunately, he passed on now. He's no longer, he died. Richie died. It's very unfortunate. These guys died young. They died young because of being used for political pawns, for political violence, and they died young. It's very unfortunate. I know there is death, but most of these guys died young. You still remember the issue about 𝗗𝗲𝗺𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗗𝗂, 𝗗𝗲𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁 used by ZANU-PF as youth brigades. Most of them died. They died young. So this is what, guys, people should understand. When we tell you youth, today's youth, please don't be used with ZANU-PF. Please don't. If you have got brains, you don't need to be used by ZANU-PF. And those guys, different things. They died from different things. Some of them committed suicide. Some of them died of HIV. And some of them just died natural death. Exactly. Most of them were close to me. We were schoolmates and more. Saka vakafa vazhinji, my youth brigade akapera kufa. Why you don't know me, Yuda, yet you claim to know rich men? Ngonidzashe Choko. I went to school with rich men. We were in school together from 1988. I was in school with the rich men. This is how I know Richie. I might know you facially, but not knowing your name. I must say, go taurisa brain zanu inokushandisa. That's true, Vena. That's very true, Atete Vena. ZANU-PF just use you. If you look at the guys I'm talking about, they were just used by ZANU-PF. And the people who used them, they are still alive. They are still surviving. They are still fending for their families. Whilst these colleagues of mine all died. And their families are struggling. So you understand, when I come live on Facebook, talking about our heroes who were killed by ZANU-PF, talking about them to say, if we can do pound, dollar, send, to try and feed the families. Because all those guys who were used by ZANU-PF, who died, no one is getting anything. Their families are starving. They are struggling. This is why I always come do live on Facebook, to try and capture these youth, today's youth, who are jumping into a bed with the ZANU-PF, that you are not doing any favor to yourself, but you are doing a disservice to yourself. Because ZANU-PF is not a new political party. They've got no new ideas. They can no longer better our economy. They were being used by 𝗗𝗵𝗁𝗲𝗂. Exactly. Some of them were being used by 𝗗𝗵𝗁𝗲𝗂, and they were damned after being used by 𝗗𝗵𝗁𝗲𝗂. Some of them were being used in Namdarain's Madiro, Mark Madiro, and later damned. If you see them, Nana Mdara Mines Maruma Oko, Ruben Maruma Oko, those are our guys who were using these chaps to do violence, to do this and that. At the end, they damned them. If you talk to them today, you understand? Vatochena kana ari munhu wandakaenda naye kuchikoro, wandakadzidza naye, atochena ndebvu zvandaita izvi, ari kukumbira. As Java more guys, ZANU-PF creates poverty and vopuwa mbichana vototawa nemari. That's true. So you find that since then, vandakaenda nawo kuchikoro, yes, Faba chidarikire in Chinoi as well. Use some of them. Wana Chueshe, Wafana, Wana Josephat Driver, top 6 what do you call? And I think ZANU-PF is not a bad organization. Let's respect ZANU-PF, a very successful part with a vision. Love you, Yuda. I don't believe, Choco, that ZANU-PF has got a vision. The vision we are talking today, that ZANU-PF spoke about in 1980, we no longer there is nothing that we have seen. All the promises that were given by ZANU-PF in 1980 until today, I've never seen anything that ZANU-PF promised Zimbabweans being delivered. Because recently, in 2018 elections, they promised electricity to the people of Zimbabwe. They promised the jobs to the people of Zimbabwe. They promised even houses to the people of Zimbabwe. Up to now, they've never delivered anything. The issue of electricity has worsened. So ZANU-PF never delivered anything. In 1980, they were talking about my future. To say I was 1980, I was in 1980, I was 9 years old, or 9 years old in 1980. Being born in 1971. In 1980, let me say I was 10 years old. And everything, the vision that they used to put 5-year plans, vakasvika pakuti gore redzikamidzi. Paive gore remasimba evanhu. There were different policies that ZANU-PF brought, which were never fulfilled. Gore remasimba evanhu, vanhu havana masimba up to now. Gore redzikamidzi, ndo gore ravaitaura kuti they varoda one-party state. Havachada imwe any other political party in our country. Later on, they claim we are a democratic country. So I saw a lot. And ZANU is zero. Yes, they've got zero vision. What ZANU-PF is just doing is buying time. Look, Mugabe in 1980 promised us all everything that we thought we could get in our lifetime. But nothing came during Mugabe's era. And the people were kept hoping. People were hoping and hoping and hoping until Zimbabweans hoped no more. So when we were hoping that Mugabe is going to deliver, Mugabe was getting old. He started walking on 2s and later walked on 3s and 4s. And he's in his grave today without delivering any of his 1980 promises. So this is the same that 𝗗𝗲𝗺𝗁 is doing. He is promising you, look at what he promised the Zimbabweans before 2018 elections. And look where he is today. And how old is he now? So he is just buying time. They are just buying time so that they die. Everything that they do, they are accumulating wealth for their families at the expense of you and me. So this is why when I come live on Facebook, I want youth to understand that these Madaras are just buying time. They are not going to better the economy of our country. They will just talk and talk. They'll give you promises and promises. So we got to an extent of getting fed up with those promises because nothing was ever delivered. All their promises have come to zero. Yes, I understand you. The ZANU-PF did not fulfill all its promises, but people have learned. The issue of land, Choco, it's not the issue of ZANU-PF. The issue of land is the issue of MDC. MDC was a political party that first spoke about land. MDC is a political party that spoke about the fulfillment of why Zimbabweans went to war. MDC said everything that we did that led us to go to 𝗗𝗲𝗁𝗁 must now be fulfilled. So we cannot wait for 30 years to get land. We cannot wait for 40 years to get land. If we talk about land issue, not all Zimbabweans got land. There were only just 3,000 farms, commercial farms, which were taken by ZANU-PF. And believe me, Mugabe is 15 of those 3,500 farms. And now, how many people are in ZANU-PF? Those chefs in the army. Because the army, about 10,000 my chef, they need land. And they got land. Ku prison, they got land. My chef, they got farms. So we've got just 3,500 commercial farms in our country, which were taken by ZANU-PF. And they need to be distributed to 16 million Zimbabweans. And who on this platform has got land? You understand? So the land issue hasn't been solved. We still fight the land issue. This is why you see every Zimbabwean still talk about land issue. We still talk about land issue. The land issue hasn't been solved. ZANU-PF has never solved anything. Solved land issue. It never solved land issue. So we still have a land issue problem. This to remember, Patrick João Mugabe's Muzukuru had one farm. But ZANU-PF, because they've got political differences, they had political differences with Mugabe, and they are descending on Patrick João's farm. They are taking it away. That means people should open their eyes to see no one got land and who is safe. 𝗗𝗲𝗺𝗁𝗁 land farm has been invaded because there's got differences with the ZANU-PF. So the land was distributed on partisan lines. Whilst being distributed on partisan lines, if you have got any difference with the ZANU-PF, you are bound to lose your land. So Sylvia's 𝗗𝗲𝗺𝗁𝗁 land has been invaded. Patrick João lost his farm to 𝗗𝗗𝗄𝗃𝗃. A lot of things are happening. You are a good guy. Join ZANU-PF. You look like best brain. Come building, my brother. Love you. Thank you, Chok. I don't think I'll ever join ZANU-PF, my brother. I saw ZANU-PF. It was led by Maisekuru and later led by Robert Mugabe. I saw everything for the past 42 years that ZANU-PF did to Zimbabwe. This is why I am saying, with everything that I've told you, ZANU-PF will never better our economy. This is what we call suffer continue. And the Zimbabweans will always suffer. As Tambo azibate parafini. Nino. Since from 1980, human rights have never been fulfilled. Everything. I don't think ZANU-PF fulfilled everything. They were talking about education. And when we got independence, we were financed by United Nations. A lot of organizations came in, built some schools, financed our education. We went to school, I think, for the first 5 years, up to 1985. We were going to school for free. If you can still remember, until 1985, we were going to school for free. From 1985-86, this is when we were told to pay about $1 something per term. I still remember that because I used to go to my mom to say, Mom, 1986, I want school fees. So 1986, I think this is when we started paying school fees. 1987, even exam fee. We used to pay exam fee. From there on, going to secondary, we were paying about $14 a term. I still remember that. So a lot of things ZANU-PF government has never fulfilled. They gave empty promises and they are still giving empty promises. As you can't say we have land if we don't have the title deeds. The land belongs to the state and ZANU-PF use it for political gain. That is exactly Mngoma Kudzanai. That's exactly what is happening. So Zimbabweans doesn't have land. Zimbabweans doesn't have land. And Miley Sowers. Poya munu panava. Mskana wangu. Waiting. Hello. So this is why we are saying, look what is happening now in our country. Zimbabwe the current government in Zimbabwe, it will never better our economy. There are two types of ED supporters, idiots who are paid peanuts for singing empty praises and those benefiting from the chaos and corruption. Love, how are you, brah? So, thank you, 𝗗𝗃𝗺𝗁𝗁𝗁. This is one thing that Zimbabweans must understand. That and thank you, Vena. So what I'm saying is, like what 𝗗𝗃𝗺𝗁𝗁 is saying, In every setup, there are two different type of people. Even pavana vako vaunozvara, vana vako are not equal. Mumwe anogona chikoro, stereg, mumwe anochitadza. Ndakafara nezuro, dai makaona murari wandakandinawo nezuro, ndakatadza kuya hangu live on Facebook, ndo ndakasvika nezuro 3 AM. My son 𝗗𝗵𝗁𝗁 Jr. is now an engineer with a 2-1 engineering degree. Ndakajamba nezuro, I couldn't hide my joy. I used to pray on daily basis. How can a party lose more than 40 years without success? It's a true failure. Let them go. Yes, 𝗗𝗵𝗁𝗁. ZANU-PF, we judge ZANU-PF by what it showed us for the past 40 years. Because when we look at ZANU-PF, we look at their track history. As I wish could have thousands watching this live, but they rush. Thank you, Ruru. And Ngoma Yuda, you are stating a lot of facts. Truth be told, the old regime is definitely. So what we are saying is, I saw it. I saw everything. I saw the promises being put. Ngoma, please, Mbotaura nyaya vanhu marupa zero my properties. Ngoma Freeman. Thank you for bringing the issue of demolitions. This is why I came live on Facebook. So before we delve into that topic, we need to give a little bit of history so that people understand. When we say ZANU-PF is a bad political party, what do we mean? What do we mean? Because ZANU-PF, it has been there for 40 years, buying time, giving empty promises to the people of Zimbabwe. When ZANU-PF came into power, let me tell you one thing. Motikari dzairaswa muZimbabwe. Waiti ukatenga motikari ikafa, very few people were repairing vehicles in our country. Motikari waiti ukaenda kumadhodhobhini, wainoona kune mazefa, machii, akaraswa ikoko. Because people could afford Mark Kutepa. Oh, my young brother. This is my young brother here. Mark, how are you, son? Mpana unogara mu UK ukanganwa blazi mpana. Sasa chadumana one day, don't worry. So what I'm saying is, ukabvunza wafana wana Mark Kutepa mpana. Motikari dzairaswa muZimbabwe. Akuna kwandaiona kwaigadzirwa motikari anobvona garage. Magaraji ataiona anga ari heavy trucks. Mazefa, masmokers, Datsun, masmokers, open truck. Zvaiwana dzakaraswa kumadhodhobhini kuti motikari haichafambi yafa yorekwa panongobviswa engine and few things yorekwa zvonokandwa madhodhobhini. But drums aive neoiri airaswa kumadhodhobhini. Now ukaenda kumadhodhobhini auone drum, auone motikari yakaraswa kumadhodhobhini. Madhirama akuchekwa ndo akutwa roofing yedzimba. Andimona, then we degenerated. Instead of developing as a country, hanzi vanomhanyira kutsonywa nana Gava nana Madam Murise Blas Huggins zviri sei mwana wamai. Right. So what I'm saying here, ladies and gentlemen, is where we came from. ZANU-PF is judged by its history, what it delivered to the people of Zimbabwe for the past 40 years. Today, if you look at ZANU-PF, what they've done is they've degenerated. I don't think this is our wish when we went to fight the White Rhodesians. And we thought these people were oppressing us. And we wanted our own independence. We wanted to build our own Zimbabwe. To say, look, we've taken over governance of our country. Remember, this is your thing, your country, your property, your land. But if you are a father, if you don't develop pamusha pako, apana rukuya kuzokudevelopera pamusha pako. Zimbabwe is our country, and we have a black government that was supposed to build our country. Ukada kuona road network yema British in this country. Utarisa road network ye Zimbabwe. After 40 years of independence, by now we should be talking about motorways in our country. By now, we should be talking about airports in our country. When I bought a plane in Newcastle, I live near Newcastle. If I want to travel to Zimbabwe, I will simply go to Newcastle, board a plane to Zimbabwe. If I need to board a plane nearby, 12 minutes away from me, there is Darlington International Airport. I can just go within a distance of 30 miles. There are 2 international airports, Darlington and Newcastle. If I want to travel to Zimbabwe, I can go to Darlington. I can go to Darlington 12 minutes. Darlington. But if you are in Zimbabwe, you come from Karoi, you need to board a plane. You have to travel 220 to 30 kilometers to Harare to board an aeroplane at Harare International Airport. Just imagine, this is happening 40 years after independence. We have degenerated as a country and we never developed. Street kids swimming in potholes in the central business district, exactly at the floor. Another sign of rot. If you want to see that this ZANU-PF is a rotten part, the government that they set up for the past 40 years are just buying time. They are rotten government. You can tell with what is in Harare. China iri kumora tishingoita ruzha pa Facebook. Exactly, 𝗗𝗲𝗁𝗶𝗵𝗀. We don't have control. This is why you see Chinese just come and take whatever they want and leave. So we don't have control. If we had control, we wouldn't be here so talking. We would be on the ground stopping Chinese from looting our country. Try more. How are you? So you see what I'm talking here. What we are lacking as Zimbabweans is we are stuck with a political party. Sorry guys, I need to silence this thing. Sorry, I was silencing. I was muting that thing. So why I am saying this? I want you guys understand. I want the people who were born after 1980 understand that ZANU-PF is not a savior. It's a distractor. It distracts. It demolish life. We know. Wanji Ndinda. Jishina, how are you? Wanji kunyumba. As people must respect the laws of the land. You can't just waste money kuvaka pa unongonzwa kuda mitemo yekuvako. Yes, Choto. Let's Choco. Yes, you have brought a very good idea. Let me tell you why people are just building anyway. Because these demolitions being done by ZANU-PF today, they are demolishing buildings that were built after ZANU-PF land barons sold land to the people of Zimbabwe. ZANU-PF people, they think they've got power to do anything that they can do. I still remember before 2005 elections, I was living in at 𝗗𝗲𝗁𝗵𝗁 prison camp. There were people or ZANU-PF supporters who were doing rallies in the camp, gathering all prison officers and their families, and they were telling them, we were allocated land at airport, near airport, so we are going to allocate you stands. And they went there, demarcated the area where if a plane fails to take off, will land there. And these stands were allocated by ZANU-PF people. They were allocated by ZANU-PF people. They are the land barons who were selling this land to unsuspecting people. And they made a fortune. And Ignatius Chombo could be involved. Because most of these stands, they were... Because what they did, these guys, they formed what they call cooperatives. when they formed what they call cooperatives, I don't know who they approached in ZANU-PF, who allocated them land. So they go there, develop the land, and make people buy stands. When they buy stands, they put a ribbon. Chinamasa was one of the ministers who went to officially open these stands. I still remember in Budiriro, the houses which were destroyed. They were commissioned by Chinamasa. So most of these land barons, they work with the Chinamasas. And Chinamasa, Chombo, July Moyo, these are beneficiaries of those stands. They go there, cut a ribbon to officially open those stands. But today, they're taking bulldozers to go bulldoze them down. And did you hear that July Moyo said those demolitions must stop? They are like saviors. They are trying to paint a picture of saving those people, whilst the land barons who sold that land are ZANU-PF people. And the ministers are beneficiaries of that, those scam stands. You understand? So, no one is going to compensate at a floor. No one is going to compensate. A good example is Energy Mtodi, who went to launch a housing project and targeted civil servants to say, look, you need to pay so much. And by such a time, we are going to allocate you stands. And all civil servants, teachers, prison officers, police officers, soldiers, they all lost man to Energy Mtodi. But until now, nothing has been done to him. Yes, Chinamasa, the same Chinamasa, thank you, Mkuma John. The same Chinamasa is coming back to his victims and tell them that those people who bought those stands are stupid. You understand? But Chinamasa was one of the people who used to go and cut the ribbons to say, we have officially opened this place. Mugabe, I still remember, went to cut a ribbon in one of those cooperatives. But today, they are bulldozing these houses down. The problem is they want to appear to be saviors, but they are chief culprits of fraud. They fraudulently gave that land to the people. You go in Melfort there. Most teachers, prison officers, they built in Melfort. But I used to warn them that, guys, I grew up seeing ZANU-PF doing this. At the end, you are going to cry. Today, if I ask you, they embarked on a project they called 𝗗𝗲𝗺𝗁. How many houses, one-bedroomed house did they build? And who are the beneficiaries of those houses? People should use their mind. Let's use our brains. We are human beings. We have got 60 cents, which is common sense. If you don't apply your 60 cents, then you are doing nothing. You are not reasoning. You are not thinking. This is why you are human beings. You are different from other animals. Because we were given this prowess to reason and think. If you go to ZANU, to a land baron who is allocating you land without involvement of council, then ask yourself, am I doing the right thing? They are coming for demolitions in Bulawa. And when they are demolishing these things, the people of Zimbabwe are just folding their hands, clapping hands. To say they're just folding their hands, just watching. Not protesting at all. Takajikiswa here maZimbabweans. Chatingate chicha ichi titore nyika yedu kumondi neZANU-PF. Mkoma Huggins. I have always stated here, ZANU-PF clearly mentioned that if you did not participate or partake in the struggle of Zimbabwe, forget about ruling Zimbabwe. So I'm thinking, how many war veterans are still alive today? Those two clowns make me angry. So you see that we are doing a disservice to ourselves. Takaroiwa nakafa kunokorwa tsoka. Unoziva kuti ukanokorwa tsoka, munyama waunoita unota munyama ukungoti chembereka shaika panongonzi bere radya. Ansaka todi mkoma tawanda. I've always said that it's a high time we sacrifice our lives. If it means civil war in our country, we don't care. Because already there is civil war, but you people do not see it. If you see how many people were killed by ZANU-PF from 2008, let me not go beyond 2008. From 2008, going downwards, not beyond 2008. If we want to see how many people died, including the 𝗗𝗲𝗺𝗁𝗲, which was said, I was shocked. Kunzwa, as I remember 2 years ago at Milford, there was no seat council, but ZANU-PF youth vachiverenga nano, and vanofunga vakafunga. Exactly, Choko. This is exactly what happened. Don't think there are ZANU-PF youth. Akangari masoja, nemagajeri, nemapurisa, who are in ZANU-PF. Why allocate those land? Vana mudzengi, kuchikurubi, taino vanhu vainzana mudzengi, ainzana mudzengi, vamwe vacho vainzana nani kunda kuvakangano mastawo, ndo vainoverenga nhano. Vosvika ita hoko apa, voverenga dzimwe nhano ita hoko apa. Iyi stand yanhingi vachipanana mastand, vachivaka vanhu veZANU-PF. Tine vamwe vanhu veMDC vakadyira, vakaenda vakanovaka. Saka ndo imba dzamuri kuona dzikudhumiwa manje. Chinongoya bofo. Bofo. Uyo unenge wakapeta maoko, ndakanzwa vamwe amai vachichema kunge vafirwa. Yo we kubata musoro yo we. Ndo mastenzi ataikutsura ya. Nhasi mabata musoro mauri yo we makuchema mhere panapa. Pataizvitaura kuti don't trust ZANU-PF. Maiti vana Yudha vanopenga. Vamwe vakati ndo opposition zvanotaura zvina basa uyo. Asi bava kutoda. Saka ndichitaura kuti the revolution that we need, that we want, it will never come on a silver platter. Because I was saying, let's not look beyond 2008. Let's look back, including 𝗗𝗲𝗺𝗁𝗲. I was shocked in the Chinzwa Obet Gutu achiti. It's a minor issue about 𝗗𝗗𝗺𝗁𝗲. I was really shocked. You cannot say kuti pafava 20,000 even during the struggle of Zimbabwe. Apana pakambourayiwa 20,000 at one go. But from 1982 to 1985 in Matabeleland, 82, 83, 84, 85 or 86, ngati say 86, because Unity Accord was signed in 1987. In a period of 4 years, ZANU-PF had killed more than 20,000 people in Matabeleland. From 1967 to 1980, in a period of 13 years, Ian Smith never killed 20,000 people in 13 years. ZANU-PF, a black political party that is supposed to support black majority rule, killed more than 20,000 people in a space of 3 years. So people should understand the impact of the 𝗗𝗗𝗺𝗁𝗲. Kwete zvaitaurwa naObert Gutu. And ipapa muchaona kuti Gutu akaenda kuBulawayo, we've got some stupid people from the Ndebele clan who will go around gather na Gutu vachitomufarira Gutu. Ndoshamisika kunzwa munhu ari kuMatabeleland who suffered during 𝗗𝗗𝗺𝗁𝗲 achiti pamberi neZANU-PF. Ndikutadza kuziva kuti munhu anenge achiti pamberi neZANU-PF chaari kuona chii? Haasi kuona here makuva ari kuMatabeleland nekuti unonzwa kuti this is a mass grave, that one is a mass grave, umune vanhu 5, umune 10, umune 15 vanhu vakaurawa vaikandwa mugomba achipfurirwa muguva. People should open their eyes. Unaona someone anotara ndebele achiti ngivele eka eulawayo achitaura ndebele achiti pamberi neZANU-PF vachimira vachiparidza shoko rakanaka reZANU, asi kuseri kwako kune makuva uri kuparidza wakamira pamusoro pemakuva. Kuti ngativhotere ZANU-PF wakamira pamusoro pemakuva evanhu vasina mhosva vakaurawa neZANU in a space of 3 years. And 𝗗𝗲𝗁𝗁𝗁, out of all the people, 𝗗𝗲𝗁𝗁𝗁, out of all the people, akataura akati it's a minor issue. The Matebele, we have got serious issues than a minor issue. So in other words, he's saying he's not going to look into, as a commissioner, he's not going to look into 𝗗𝗂𝗁𝗁 because it's a minor issue. Playing down such an issue that saw quite a large number of people killed in a space period of time. People should know. Ndebele people, especially people from Matebele land, those who suffered 𝗗𝗂𝗁𝗁. If you see 𝗗𝗲𝗁𝗁𝗁, I think you have to remove his balls. Definitely. Because that man is not worth to be a human being. I am telling you the truth. If you don't remove his balls, then you are cowards. That attitude just disappeared. I don't know why. Because with all those utterances from 𝗗𝗲𝗁𝗁𝗁, I don't think he is welcome in Matebele land. Any part of Matebele land, 𝗗𝗲𝗁𝗁𝗁 is not welcome there. Don't allow Gutu to come. We warned people. Last time, Zimbabweans do not learn. When 𝗗𝗲𝗁𝗁𝗁 joined Thokozani Kupe and they formed their MDC. Tell me something, you that I am a born free. ZANU people killed 20,000 people during 𝗗𝗂𝗁 according to the press, and how many people were killed by dissidents, and how caused this 𝗗𝗂𝗁. Thanks, it's a very good question that you are asking. I don't really know. Saka, if we say dissidents killed people, Choko, I'm not going to state names here, but some of the people who operated as dissidents were from support unit. This is not shocking, because I worked with one of them who operated as a dissident in Matebele land. And these guys were from support unit, who went to Matebele land, operated as dissidents. In the yellow zone. Oh, really, Noma? Thanks for coming to my land. Thanks for coming. If I had known, I could have come to see you, because I was down in Kwakaperera, England. So what I'm saying is, people do not understand the operations of those dissidents. If you see how many people rebelled from Connemara and Entumbane, how many people rebelled, who went out as dissidents, those guys were just a few. And the support unit deployed its operatives in civilian who operated as dissidents, and these people killed a lot of people. They killed a lot of people, masquerading as dissidents, but they were from support unit. And I worked with one of those guys. I'm not going to state his name. Kana azofana zokuza yafa. Achiri mpenyu ndikataura anourawa. Pandakashanda naye pa support up. Mwacho taitoridza naye futi kurenji ma support. vachinotaura kuti taitoenda matebheleland isusu tichitanga madissidents tichoridzirana pfuti nemasoja tichitotiza kutange madissidents because taida kuti they had infiltrated the madissidents vachida kuidentify madissidents ndo vaiuya manje vachizotaura kuti mukaenda pamba pakati pane madissidents ipapo mukaenda pamba pakati pane madissidents ipapo. They were from support unit, those guys. And you see what I'm saying here. So those people, and yes, we citizens are not united. Definitely, definitely. So if we are united as a people, I am saying this from Joshua Nkomo's words. Today, it was a day that we all remember umdala wetu Nkabuko Nyongolo Nkomo. Akataura kuti despite of political differences, we converge into Zimbabweans. We are all a people. We are all Zimbabweans. So we converge there into a people, despite all these political differences. But we got to an extent of an intolerant part known as ZANU-PF, which doesn't understand that it is only a political party as good as any other political party in Zimbabwe. This is why it contests elections. If that part was of superhumans, they wouldn't contest an election. Why would they go into an election if they were not a political party? The problem is they are not tolerant. This is why you see they kill opponents. I'm talking not beyond 2008. How many people were murdered in Zimbabwe by ZANU-PF? Today, let's talk from 2008 to 𝗗𝗲𝗁. How many Zimbabweans were murdered by ZANU-PF from 2008 to 𝗗𝗲𝗁? So you will find that we are in a civil war, but people do not realize it, and the people do not want to retaliate. But Zimbabwe is a country in a civil war. And that civil war, the people of Zimbabwe have to organize themselves and fight back. We have seen houses being burned, children being killed inside the houses, innocent people. We have seen people being macheted to death. We have seen people being speared to death. When there is macheting, spearing, shooting, burning of property, that is civil war. I don't understand if people do not define civil war in what we saw, the characteristics of ZANU-PF, the characteristic of the government that we have today. It has declared a civil war against the people of Zimbabwe. And I remember one herald heading saying, we are treating opposition as terrorists. People should have learned from that statement that when a government is declaring you an innocent citizen of a country who wants better life, you're being declared as a terrorist. You don't have a bomb. You don't have a weapon to fire back. You don't have even a stone to throw. You've got only your words and a ballpoint pen. But the ZANU-PF government is declaring you a terrorist. ZANU-PF government is declaring you a terrorist because of your words, because of your pen to put an X. Your powers are there to put an X. This is not a bullet. This is not a bomb. This is not a bullet. This is not a bomb. You cannot bomb RBZ by talking. You cannot bomb Zimbabwe by putting an X on a paper. You can't do that. And how come ZANU-PF is declaring every Zimbabwean a terrorist? Every opposition leader a terrorist? Because they are finding a way of silencing you. They are finding a way of killing you. When they kill you, they say, we have killed a terrorist. Because you want to go and put an X to remove ZANU-PF, you become a terrorist. If you fight for one man, one vote, that they went to fight Ian Smith against, then they declare you an enemy, state enemy. They say, you are a terrorist. Because why do you want one man, one vote? They forget that when they went to war themselves, they were fighting for one man, one vote. But today, when you tell them that we need one man, one vote, they are saying you're a terrorist. I've never seen an innocent civilian bombing Zimbabwe. I've never seen an innocent person holding a pen to put an X bombing Zimbabwe. X cannot bomb Zimbabwe. Ballpoint cannot bomb Zimbabwe. What we say cannot bomb Zimbabwe. So you wonder how ZANU-PF government came to a conclusion to say anyone who wants to vote, who wants one man, one vote, is a terrorist. Nobody understands that. We don't understand that. So this is what I'm saying, that where we are heading to, from now onwards as Zimbabweans, we must find a way of dealing with this army. We must find a way of dealing with the ZANU-PF. And 𝗗𝗲𝗺𝗁 was not sleeping working for the people of Zimbabwe. He has never worked for the people of Zimbabwe. Never worked for the people of Zimbabwe. If ED was working for the people of Zimbabwe, he was never going to deploy soldiers on the 1st of August to kill innocent civilians. How can you kill the people you work for day and night? You deploy soldiers to go and kill. If your children are protesting, sit down with your citizens and talk to them. What is the problem? You guys are protesting. That shows you have got a solution. Can you come sit down? Let's talk. Where's the problem? How can we maneuver as a country? But you don't send the soldiers and kill people and say, I'm working day and night for you. You are not allowed to talk. If you say something, you are shot and killed. You are not allowed to talk. On the 14th of January 2019, we saw the same happening. Soldiers killing people. Killing people. Vanhu vari mudzimba dzavo. Vanhu vaipindirwa mudzimba door to door. Vakadzi vachiboeswa vachikambairiswa muHarare. Futi dzichirira locations kunge we are in a war. Then someone will say, I'm working for you day and night. You're not working for me, you're working for your family. You're working for your family. You're not working for yourself, for Zimbabweans. It is not working for Zimbabwe. He is not working for anyone. He's working for himself. And that's, I just said, Zimbabwe, do you know how much ED earns per year, annually? How much is paid? He earns over $200,000 a year. So he is just doing something to earn his salary. But he's not seen doing anything to better Zimbabwe, to better our country. By now, 40 years of independence, we should be seeing improvements in our country. We should be drinking clean water. We should be driving in motorways by now. We shouldn't be flying to China for medication. Fly to South Africa for medication. 40 years of independence. People must understand that Harare or Parerenyatwa Hospital was the best hospital in SADC, where renal treatment was performed. Parerenyatwa was the only hospital in SADC which was performing renal treatment, operations and so forth. Ma president une dzimwe nyika vaiuya vachirapwa muZimbabwe, kubva muBotswana, kubva kuna South Africa vachirapwa muZimbabwe paparerenyatwa paipai. Ndopakafira muqabuko muDarankomo, akafira papari. Haana kufira ku Singapore zvakaita Mugabe. So what I am saying is, we need a way to deal with the ZANU-PF. We need to be decisive. We need to come together as Zimbabweans. Ndakataura ndikati kubva musi wa 1 July, starting today, our slogan must be ZANU-PF must go. Protest and protest and protest. People are encouraging people to go vote, yes. Those who want to go cast their votes, yes. But ZANU-PF negorere 𝗗𝗲𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁𝗁, they cannot be removed. Nezvatiri kutaura. ZANU-PF yakuda chimurenga. MuZimbabwe makuda chimurenga. Nakachitasa picture ya Joshua Nkomo. There were 3, the Nkomo brothers, Stephen Nkomo, Joshua Nkomo, and the other Nkomo. There were 3 that I've put on Facebook. Nkomo was a smart gentleman. But inside his mind, had a revolution. That I am going to lead a revolution to free the Zimbabwe people from this bondage. Today's youth, they think of stoning. Today's youth think of stoning. Apana chimwe chiri kufunga. Ukanzwa vachiimba ndipe stonyimbi, ndipe stonyen, sweet. Vakataka kuimba iwo vachijamba vafana vamazuva vakapfeka zvitrousers zvakati mbambamba nemakumbo, so unoti ukana zviro wafudya so zvimaboni freeze zvakabata mawhisk aya unobva wati ya. They don't think about tomorrow. They don't care about tomorrow. They don't care about their country. Ukabvunza isusu takaenda kune dzimwe nyika taakuona zvinoitika kune dzimwe nyika, ndopaunogutsikana kuti Zimbabwe is dilapidated. The country has been spiraling down. Ukaona nduwe, ndakaona imwe dance ichirwa nemwe mupana akapfeka nduwe yakabvaruka yakatanga yakarwa nebhazuka. Anditi muri kuona. Saka tine problem vanhu veZimbabwe. We don't prioritize what we want. This is time to say ZANU-PF must go. Honestly. Zvinhu zvinorwadza ukafamba ukaenda mune dzimwe nyika ndopaona unyatsona unorwadziwa with the development that we see in other countries. Erikuona kuEgypt vakadestroy all those mass. Zvimba zvezvo vakapwanya zvezvaigara zvimasheikhs vakapwanya. They built cities kuEgypt. Naisekana madam ndikati pane mumwe mufana akamboimba vana havanyatsoteerera song yayo. Naisekana nemukadzi wangu ndikati pane song yakamboimbwa yekunzi idya banana ndiwati remurudo. Ndikati song yayo inomborevei? Swaziland, thank you Atete. Swaziland is yaparura imwe revolution. The Swazi people vakataura vakati chimudhara cheStonian ichi every year virgin. Ana 10 years anenge ane 10 mavirgin. Chidhara cheStonian ichi vakachipisira mota dzese. Rolls Royce, chofamba nema Rolls Royce. Ivo chavo kushanda vachichitengera Rolls Royce. Chichiroora. Andiri muona. Maifu. My Flora. Maifu. Ukaenda pa Facebook uyaona. Yanduradze munhu ari panapa. Andiri muona guys nyati kutaura. Unomuziva?
Diani.
Auchamuziva?
No.
Ndo maifudo.
Wachindani. Wana kaini. Nai. Ndikuona zita nai.
Let me add this a friend.
Haasi mbiki wacho iriwe.
Aiwa ndimai freedom one. Ndiriva ye.
Koinda wanga paipa yakadaro.
Aunda mudiko mucha we.
Mucharu. Inai. Wow.
I've got beautiful sisters. Right guys, guys, 23 past 10. Regai ndipedze presentation yangu ndichitaura ndichiti. Regai ndipedze presentation yangu ndichitaura nyaya yekufa kwaita mapurisa nhasi, kwafa mapurisa 3. Mapurisa muZimbabwe afa nhasi, kwafa 3 mapurisa 3. Ukada kuona mafira aita mapurisa aya, 1 atsikwa nebhazi paflyover yoKamiya, atsikwa 1 akafa ipapo. Koya mwatsikwa nemudhudhudhu kuState House achibva afira ipapo, amutsika wacho anonganza afa futi ipapo. Saka vari 3 mapurisa afa nhasi. Saka ndiri kutarisa inini mafira arikuita mapurisa. Tine mupurisa akafa achibva kuperekedza mai Munangagwa kuChinhoyi. Akada head on collusion nemotikari civilian motor asi yaidhiragwa nemupurisazve. So we lost. Tikada kuona mapurisa afa nhasi chete kwafa 3 mapurisa ekuZimbabwe. Saka muri nyaya yatiri kutaura panapa inyaya yekuti ndakaona vanhu vachifara kuState House. Honestly, I believe you. Zvinenge zvekuromba izvi. Hazvisi normal mafira arikuita vanhu paState House. But ndakaona problem yandakaona ndeyekuti maZimbabweans ndakatagwa nemaZimbabweans akawanda. Paitwa pass out parade yeku-prison service. Vachita Yuda uyaone kwaitwa pass out kuNdawazinduna about 1,300 prison officers who were trained at Ndawazinduna. Vakaenda pass out parade. Ndakatarisa so ndikati vana idambudziko rekuti vana vanenge vachiti tiri kuenda kubasa, but vasinga understand kuti vari kuenda kupi. Patakapinda muprison services as a prison officer, ndaive ndine high hopes ekuti I am going to save my country nemoyo wangu wese. Basa raya ndakapinda ndichirida. Although ndandine opportunities to do any other job in our country, but prison service ndakapinda ndichikuda kuti ndiri kunoseva nyika yangu as a prison officer. Dai ndakaziva kuti kodiwa vanhu veZANU-PF chete, ingadai ndisina kuendako. Andaiendako, ndaienda elsewhere. Chinhu chashata kuprison ndekwekuti ukadata prison service dambotaura nyaya yeprison. Pakapera hondo 1980. Magandanga vanhu vakaenda kuhondo vaivai, most of them they were demobilized. Vaitwa demobilized, vakapuwa mari vanhu vaivai. Vamwe vakanzi vanoda kuita kudzokera kuzvikoro endai, vanoda kuenda kunana prison endai. Vamwe vakatuswa kunana army, police, vamwe vapinda mupolisi, vamwe vaenda kuprison. Saka vanhu vakaenda kuprison vazhinji vacho vanhu vakaramba kuenda kuchikoro. And during that time pakawana vanhu vakawana mafake war veterans, vakawana mukana vanga vari vana mujibha vaya nguva dzehondo, vaingoenda vachitumwa vachinzendesa tsamba pakati inondo vakadzi vari kuti tibikirei kudya, vasina kumbopinda kana muhondo kana kuenda kutraining kana kuti chii. Ndo vanhu vakauya kunana prison vachizviti war veterans. At the end, those people were promoted to very senior ranks in prison service. Vaipromotwa masenior ranks vasina kuenda kuchikoro. Saka uri kuona kuti zvavaiita ndezvekuti zvanga zvisina chikoro mukati. Nanhasi ndikakutaurirai kuti kuna vamwe vainzi officer in charge wokuti ukaita ukanyora kana zvezvekuti wataipa anything chawataipa, ukaenda ukati chef ndapedza chiverengai ndizvo here, haverenge, anongoisa signature chete. Kana zvoenda kumberi zvozoenda kumberi ukazvofana kuenda zvaidzorwa zvichinzi aiwazve ko chef makasaina chiya. Vazhinji vacho vaingorovera masignature vachiinda. Ndo vanhu vaive mudecision making yeZimbabwe prison services. Hamuna force muZimbabwe yairanwa seprison service. Everything was like secret zvaitwa muprison. Waiti ukaenda kucommissioners mess prison kana kumamess prison waidya good food yanga isingadyiwe kupi kwese kwese. Prison yaibika chikafu choti waiti kana ukadya wanyatsona ndiri kudya chikafu panapa. Taienda kuma joint operations with other organizations, but zvatainoona ikoko nezvataiita isusu tatine first class services in prison services. Things zvakatanga ngota deteriorate zvaakusirwa magandanga. Makore iwayo kwaiva nemadhara vakashandira regime, vakashandira nevarungu vaiziva kumanage the service. But madhara yakatanga ngobviswa kuti ana madhara ainzi ana Chibwe, vana mudhara Chibwe, vana mudhara Mwatsiya, vana ainzi vanani vamwe. Koza yamwe mudhara umwe akazopesera akushandiswa neZanu akuda kundiuraya. Ainzi muZimbabwe mudhara Maradzika aingonzi yellowman ndiye anga ari pamberi to persecute me. Pandakamutaurira ndikati mudhara, munhu wamuri kupersecute, I'm just a junior officer, PO2. Imi muri Ascom Maradzika. Honestly, moita take the most junior prison officer mu service. I don't know what you benefit out of prosecuting me or of persecuting me. But vamwe vake vaiita basa sebasa because vakashanda nevarungu vaiziva kuti prison inoranwa sei. Vakasiya vadzidziswa basa nevarungu. Kwakazouya aya magandanga ekunyepa aya mafake war veterans, zvinhu zvikatanga kukolapsa kusvika prison service yakolapsa today. Ndakaona vana vachita pass out parade. Ndikabvunza kuti vana ava vari kuenda kunohora mari. How much are you gonna pay these kids? Because they must understand that kana wapinda basa ukasaina 25 years contract to prison, that means this is where your development is. Ndopa uchashanda mari yekuendesa vana vako kuchikoro, ndopa uchashanda mari yekuvaka msha, ndopa uchashanda mari yeupenyu hwako yekuti uchaunganidza mari yepension paunosvika 25 years, pamwe unenge wakuma 45 50 years unenge wakura wasvika age yedu wakuda kuenda kumudya ndigere. Hanzi mupurisa ainzi yellowman muHarare, you know him here. No Tepsula, no handimuzivi. Togona kuve maybe takangosanganawo somewhere. Vandaiziva vashoma mapurisa, but kuprison ndo vandaiziva vakawanda. Mapurisa andaiziva vazhinji vakomana vandaitamba nawo bhora. Because ndiri paCentral taitamba bhora vafana hanzi ana Chitsa vaive vekuTomlinson. Mapurisa vazhinji taitamba nawo bhora. Ndo vanhu vandanyanyoziva ndaitamba nawo bhora. Nevamwe vandakazoendawo nawo kuma operations and so forth. Tichienda kuma trainings and so forth, ndo vandaiziva. Mapurisa ndasakanyanyomaziva, but magadhi ndo vandanyanyoziva. Masoja andaiziva vakomana ndairidza nawo pfuti parenji paya vazhinji vacho. Taitozivana. Vaiti kana ukandoona ndichiuya ndakabata FN yangu vaichema masoja. Shapiro chimboritaya uridza pfuti kati nditaura tonisa nhamo mupana iwo. Used to make soldiers joke, man. Hey, you understand? Saka nyaya yekufa kuita mapurisa zvechokwadi uri mupurisa uri kufira $50 pamwedzi, less than 30 pounds the whole month. Zvinhu zvinosiririsa. Machatamba jebhu nekukwira zupwo chete zvesalari zvinorwadza rambo. Chari mambo Chari. Chari ndaimuziva patidini. Ndaimuziva Chari. Mambo ndaimuziva Chari. Saka you find zvosiririsa. Takasvika pakushaya uniform kuprison. Waiti ukatasangana nemagadhjere, ungasingazeni mugadhjere uniform yawo ndeipi. Mwanenge akapfeka chegrey, mwakapfeka chekaki, mwakapfeka sheti yekaki. Varungu vanga vakazvironga. Waiti kana uchipfeka sheti yekaki kuprison, wanga usingaipfeke nesandy trousers. Waipfeka sheti yekaki nedenim order chete. Unenge uchienda kunoita maduties yakaita sevanhu vanoenda kumunda. Ndopa waipfeka khaki shirt nedenim order. Waiti ukapfeka green shirt nesandy trousers, ndo vanhu vaienda kunoita ma-court duties. Vanhu vaishanda kuma-offices vanana remand prison. Kazhinji kacho ndo but waiti kana uchienda kumunda for fatigue, vana dog handler kuprison maipfeka sheti yekaki nedenim order nenjombo. Ndo dressing yaienda maprison officers kumunda vakapfeka green shirt nebhande ranga green and white nesandy trousers ranga rakataka cream kaki. Waishanda ndo vaishanda maofisi, vaishanda kuma-courts ikoko. Wanga uchiti kana uchienda mukoti, magistrate aiti akaona prison officer akapfeka njombo mukoti, waidzingwa namagistrate. Aikutaura kuti that is fatigue dressing yawakapfeka, we don't want that. Waiti ukaenda wakapfeka denim order mukoti, waidzingwa namagistrate. Mamagistrate vaitoziva kuti a prison officer ari kuuya mukoti anenge akapfeka dressing yakaita sei. Waiti kana uchienda kuhigh court, waipfeka long sleeved shirt yegreen, waipfeka barathia suit nebarathia cap. Hanzi anonoka mukoma atete Silver tikutaura tikuita general discussion, tichitaura dzimba dziri kupwanywa neZANU-PF, tichitaura kufa kuri kuita mapurisa. Saka pane question yabvunzwa yekuprison yandiri kupindura kuti waiti kana ukaona mugadhjere ari kuenda kushanda kuhigh court, mugadhjere ari kuenda kushanda kuhigh court wese aipfeka barathia suit. Wapfeka barathia suit ndo waibvumirwa kupinda muhigh court. Wanga usingapinde muhigh court wakapfeka green shirt nesandy trousers, wanga usingabvumirwa. Wanga usingabvumirwa kupfeka. Waiti kubasa ukaona mugadhjere akapfeka sandy trousers nenjombo, waibvudzoserwa kumba, because sandy trousers raipfekwa nepresident shoe. Waiti ukapfeka denim order waipfeka nenjombo, ukapfeka denim order nepresident shoe waidzorerwa kumba, because unenge wakaita inonzi mixed dressing. Zvakapera zvandiri kutaura izvozvo. Kuti muone kuti ZANU-PF government kana vanhu vamoti magandanga vakauraya prison service sei. Sandy trousers nebhande re-white and green riya negreen shirt hazvipfekwe nemofaya, zvaipfekwa necape chete. Zviheti zvimamofaya zvezve zvakazvisikwa kuprison. Zvimabhareta zvamakona zvegreen zvazvitsva kuprison. I think zvimabhareta zvakaintroduced when I was there, but anabva namboda kuripfeka. But kuprison waive nedressing yawaitoziva kuti kana uchienda kuparade zvakaita mapass out parade ayaya ndakaona vakapfeka green shirt nedenim order nenjombo. That is not ceremonial dressing. That's not a ceremonial dressing. Because that was a ceremony. A pass out parade is a ceremony. When you go for a ceremony, you wear what we call ceremonial dressing. The prison band, vairidza vakapfeka masuit a green. My instructors nema recruits varipa pass out vaipfeka barathia suit ne president shoe kugumbo ye brown yakaporishwa vai zvamakaona zvepass out parade rera ndaitagwa nevanhu ndakati ndokufa kwaita nyika. Ukaona department rakaita seprison risichakwanise kuafoda barathia suits for ceremonial dressing, nyika yaparara. Varungu vakasiya zvakarongeka izvi. Rutaura dressing yekuprison. Waite a commission rank paunongotanga kusalutwa paya wanga usikapfeke karing kari kupfekwa mazuva ano kaika. Zvinhu ndizvekuarmy zvazvo. Waipfeka cloth badge panapo. Waiti kada kuona kuti munhu anosalutwa kuprison zvasingakunetse. Hautarise mabendeketi. Waitarisa pamhanza. Kana pane cloth badge ndopa waiziva kuti uyu munhu anosalutwa. Uchisangana naye makadii chef. Ukaona nekasimbi kaika watoziva kuti aiwa tiri muchakapedza mbudzi tese. Saka vanhu makaita zvakanaka, vanhu vakanditaga paya papasa ndasingazivi kune pass out parade reprison. But it's pathetic what I saw, what I witnessed. Vafana vakamacha zvinomwisa mvura. Handifunga kuti pane department rechimilitary muZimbabwe rinomacha semagadhijeri. Handifunge. Ndagara ndichiudza vanhu presidential guard chaiyo havakwani padrill in terms of drill neprison. The drill was excellent that I watched, and vafana they were well drilled. But chandakashora pass out parade hariitwe nedenim order. That is a ceremonial parade. Ceremonial parade hariitwe nedress order yavanga vakapfeka. Unopfeka president shoe, wopfeka barathia suit, wopfeka barathia cap, wopfeka magloves, wotakura pfuti yako SKS. Unenge wakwana for ceremonial. Zviya zviwangu zvandakaona zvichiitwa zviya. Zvairatidza kuti prison services yaora. Ukada kuona munhu imbotererai commissioner general weprison ainzi Chiobvu. Ndopaona kuti prison yaora. Munhu ainzi Chiobvu ndakamuzwa achiverenga ndikati baba vari kuverenga kunge munhu ane mabayo, kuverenga kunge munhu ane manyoka. You cannot compare Chiobvu nemudhara ainzi Langton Chigwida. Commissioner watakapinda basa aripo ainzi Langton Chigwida aita akamira apa kutaura chirungu. Baba maimira ho maita emulate kuti ndoda kuzoitawo zvaari kuita. Pandakasvika patraining depot kuchikurubi paine mudhara mublaza ainzi Machona aita akamira pamberi penyu akadresa akachena. Waibva wataura wega iwewe kuti I want to be like Machona, the way this guy dress. Ndichipedza training yangu peprison ndaita ndoda kuita instructor chete. Because ndaiona ma-instructors aivepo. Vana mudhara Maruma, vana Chimbadzo, vana mudhara Nyakaembe. Vaiti kana vachiuya kwauri vana mudhara Moyo vaiti kana vachimacha vachifamba vachimacha kana vachiuya kwauri akachena unoda chiinstructor unototi ndoda kutochiita chete chiinstructor. No matter what, I want to be an instructor. Ndichipedza training yangu, I was impressed nemumwe mudhara ainzi Chiremba. Aiti kana akuridza pfuti so wanyatsogutsikana nemumwe mudhara ainzi Mafadza. Aiti akaisa chigubhuko akarara neG3 anenge achichisimudza aiti vamwe achichiteera. Ndikati ndoda kuzviita izvi. Ndakazviita. Ndikati ndoda kuita instructor. Ndakazviita. Nekuti ndaiemulator zvakanaka zvataiona. Dai makaona pass out parade wamoti Commissioner General 𝗗𝗲𝗁 anga akapfeka kunge munhu ari kubva mumunda. Chiuniform chaanga akapfeka chakaita kukwachikirwa. Uniform haifani kukwachikirwa pamunhu. Kufamba wakapfeka kunge wakakwachikirwa uniform. Uniform inoshepwa kuti ufambe wakadresa. You must dress. Kwete to hang uniform pamunhu. Baba Shapiro ndapindira sei nokuswera ndaswera mukomatindo zviri kufamba. Saka you find what I'm saying. Kuti zvakati kuda kuita ma-instructors taiona mapfekerwa aiita nevanhu vanga vari patraining depot. Where have you been naye Chikondi? Sweetie, ndakapfuura nekumaraini kwako ndikati ndofonera mukadzi uyu ndimbopfuura ndichimudongorera pandakaona kuti time yacho yanga yapera. Saka ndandiri muroad chimborwa gonyeti tisplita magear. Uniform inooltwa mapenzi amukomatindo. Uniform inooltwa kuti upfeke kana vachifamba munongonzi vakapfeka uniform. Kwete zvatakaona zvana 𝗗𝗲𝗁. He is a former captain kuarmy. Akapuwa 1 up to major akubuda basa. And vakafona naye sweet. Wanga wa usiku. Ndakapfuura usiku. Ndakapfuura usiku. Ndakatendera England yese. Andiri mona. Uniform yechuto inooltwa kuti upfeke. Hauti kana ukapuwa zembe rakati guvhutu rokwachikira. Ndaiti ndikapfeka uniform ndikafamba apo. Ndakasipesera ndakunyewa patraining depot. Zvikanzi uyu unozvita kunge ndiye ega instructor pane vafana vese. Nekuti ndaipfeka ndasikakwachikira uniform. Ndaiti kana ndikamacha ma-instructors akanditraina kuprison wana instructor wangu ainzi Nyakayembe. Ndaidisplaya, ndindaimacha ndichidisplaya pamberi pemama-recruits. Kunzi dakuti muone munhu anoti kana tikati left right rechirevei. Ndini ndaidisplaya. Ndava nemi. Thanks Mukoma Hendricks. Thank you so much. Andiri muri kuona. Because ndaiita basa rine chidono ndairida. Asi zvandakaona papass out parade vafana vakamacha zvondakanwa mvura ndikati yenaro vabikwa vafana. Asi ma-resources dololo. Ndo panofana kuona vanhu vari kujoina chigadhijeri chipurisa chisoja. Kuti kungosairirwa kuenda. Hakuna mari yacho salary yaunongochiora hapana. Ndakabvunzwa nemumwe munhu ndikati zvikanzi ko sei prison yakachinja uniform. Ndikati iproblem yekuti jira rataive naro kudhara hanzi tikurishaya. Saka someone wangu yana idea kuti pfeke grey segrey Maria. Nema 1 up iwawo uniform inenge yakaturikwa pamunhu. Ndo zvandakaona pana 𝗗𝗲𝗁 mukomatindo. Unopowa 1 up wakuenda. Ndakabvunza ndikati unoona sei munhu yakanga asingapromote kuarmy uya. Bhozi rakanga riri dofo. Kunyora hagoni. Ndakaseka achiverenga ndikati ndo Commissioner General herawo. Unofanirwa kuti kana wapromote waiswa parengi yayi unzi wa Commissioner General imboenda umboita malessons echirungu kana wanga usina kudzidza. Unongoita subject 1 inonzi English. Wapedza subject iyoyo wodzidziswa kutaura, public speaking. kazhinji kacho public speaking takudzidza tega takagara panapa tongoenda painternet wodzidza chiobvu kana zvinonzi public speaking hatizivi kupfeka hatizivi ndokufa kwaita prison services zvamakaona izvo zviya vanhu vaiombera tikati muri kuomberei muri macivilian you don't know kuti hapana zviri kuitwa vana vakandwa munhamo unoti zvotangira papass out chaipo paparedhipo paya ndayatarisa poshi yakabata sword baba richi tikati naro kamposhi amara ndakana vakabata sword vari paslow time tikati rova sword mwana wamai zvakaoma. Ladies and gentlemen, it was nice to be with you for the past a week, 2 weeks, I think. Ndane 2 weeks isingauye pana. Mungana ndati zizi nendri muroad nchidrive. To make ends meet. Ndaitaurira bhururu wangu ndikati unoziva kuti muno mu-UK ukaona kuti wapera mari unongomhanya kuita peace job wotoibata 2-3 days unenge watoibhowa watobata mari. Kwakasiyana nekuzimbabwe ukashaya mari hakuna kwaunomhanya kuita peace job ukavaka musika vanouya vopwaza musika wacho hapana paunotengesera. Inzara takarima muzimbabwe. Saka ndiri kuti iwewe neni tine basa iwewe neni rekumeka sure kuti tagadzirisa nyika yeZimbabwe. Tagadzirisa nyika yeZimbabwe. Ngatigadzirisei nyika yedu. Because nyika yacho ndeyedu. Haisi nyika yezanu. But we look like we have surrendered this country to ZANU-PF, of which we should never surrender that country to ZANU-PF. Inyika yevanhu. ZANU-PF is just a political party. Inofanirwa kuita zvido zvevanhu. Kana yatadza kuita zvido zvevanhu ngaiende. Saka iyo iri kuziva kuti yakatadza kuita zvido zvevanhu, iri kuramba kuenda vakuita basa rekuuraya vanhu kuti maakutiti endai sei. Lastly, let me say to the people of Zimbabwe, Mdara Zuma has been sentenced to 15 months in prison for contempt of court. Ndakarohwa nehana. South Africa inyika iri kuteremuka like Zimbabwe. It's very unfortunate that South Africa yakoromoka like Zimbabwe. 15 months for contempt of court. Was that contempt of court? It's just $10 fine. Hakuna kuya court. Why? What our reason? But I'd pay fine of $50. Zvatopera. But ndashamisika Mdara Zuma zichinzi contempt of court 15 months in prison. South Africa yakujairira vanhu naye. Guys, chiregai ndipedzi. Ndane jara. Ndangoti nduye ndikukwazisei. Kana mandishaya ndofara zikuru kuti ndine vanhu vandu vakandishaya vanonditsvaga. Ngoma Yuda murisei mune problem here. Someone has even offered kuti please Shepherd pandakanyora zvikanzi ndipe account yako ndokuisira mari internet every month kuti usashaike pa internet. Ndikati no, that's not the matter. Because ndenda kwana ndakumhanya kunotsvaga chondibatsire vana vadye zvinenge zvakarema. Unoziva it's not time yekuti tofanira ngoramba tichingokumbira kune vanhu. Wauri kukumbira wacho vanozviwana kupi? Anoitawo peace job kuti abate. Saka let me do a peace job kuti vana vadyewo. Unoshaya kana pound yekutengera mwana ice cream. 8 o'clock dzikakwana live on Facebook. mangwana kuseni ice cream ikapfuura apa unoshaya kana pound rekutengera mwana corn ice cream. Mwana wangu mukomana 4-year-old ashi anobva aya kuzozvikanda pamakumbo pako, daddy can I have a keys for your nice car? Anoziva kuti motikari mama maigara mapound, hamuchina mapound acho. Saka mwana ndati zizi guys, ndendiri paroad, manda kunditsvaga munonditsvagawo through WhatsApp yangu. Hapana munhu asina WhatsApp yangu. WhatsApp number yangu munhu wese anayo. Saka pane vanhu vaiti Shapiro chichi, saka ndatenga rimwe line refone, topora tichiita sei tichibatana pane imwe WhatsApp or line rimwe refone tichifonerana vanoda kufona mafone in and so forth. But arada tichiita modernize our project yedu, program yedu, tichibata bata, tichiita kuti vanhu vacontribute. Pane mumwe munhu akanidi one man band presentation is objective. Shapiro, that's good to have you back, my brother. Thank you Mkoma Albert. Saka let's see tomorrow if we can talk of something else mangwana, if I'm available. Mkaona ndisiri available, that's fine, don't worry. I can still come back to you guys. Tikondinya our presentation. Zotapira naye. For tonight, enjoy your day. Nangoti tuetipanane tizivisane. Kuti vakomana vafana mayouth yamazuva musashandiswa neZANU-PF. Takamboitawo mayouth isusu, but takaramba kushandiswa neZANU-PF when I was a youth. Andiri mfana inini ndaijamuka. And waitokasvika zvedzungu waidona. Andiona. Kwakukura uko. Kwamaona kwataita. But ndakaramba kushandiswa neZANU-PF. Nanhasi ndiripo. Rambawo kushandiswa neZANU-PF. Say no to ZANU-PF. Andimurona. Say no to ZANU-PF. Those are two taura. Say no. They've got nothing new that they can offer. ZANU haisina chinhu chaichakuitirai. The people who are there today, they are just buying time. Murukunzwa? These people are there just to buy time. Please say no to ZANU-PF. And tell them you are just there to buy time. Amuna as help or assistance yamuchatipa. Amusina nyika yamuchagadzira after 40 years muchifeila. Saka, let's say no to ZANU-PF. Everybody say no to ZANU-PF. It's time we should stand up and say no to ZANU-PF. Andimona, no to ZANU-PF. Ndo nyaya iripo. Saka ndati, for today, let's call it quits, guys. Then we meet tomorrow. I love you all. Take care. You are so amazing, people of Zimbabwe.